What's in a name? Everything. The power of a name has long been immortalized in prose, poetry, and history. It is your face to the world, your ambassador of quality that reflects your ideals and aspirations. Thompson's, a name, a family, a tradition of excellence. So it is with Thompson's Buick GMC dealership at 55 Placerville Drive, home of new and used Buick and GMC cars, trucks, and SUVs. At Thompson's, each of our professional and friendly sales staff are here to meet or exceed your highest expectations. And our professional staff and factory-trained and certified technicians will keep your car, truck, or SUV running in perfect condition. That's Thompson's Buick GMC, where you are always treated like family.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. Today we're on the Columbia River at Astoria with guide Brandon Glass, who's fishing with Jason Hambley and Josh Cooper from Llama Glass and a couple of friends. Now today's episode is highly instructional, so if you want to learn how to catch more fish, stay tuned.
I'm Justin Wolff, and this is Angler West Television.
The fall Chinook season is just getting started for the Buoy 10 fishery at Astoria, Oregon. We have great conditions to work with to reach our goal of limits of Chinook salmon. But before we run out to the fishing grounds, guide Brandon Glass gets his arsenal of Llama Glass rods laid out.
We'll put the spinners in the center of the boat. We're going to fish bait in the back of the boat. Okay, so we kind of spread out our gear a little bit. And we're going to run our 1066s out the bow, so we're going to run heavier leads on them, so to help keep the rods from bowing down all the way to the water. So, run these up here. So guys, today we're going to run two types of Llama Glass rods. Today we're going to run the 10.5 footers. We're running the 1066 off the bows and the 1064 in the back of the boat. These new 1066s we started using last year, they're a little bit heavier, so they're actually able to hold the lead out a little bit further, or the big divers, depending on what we use down here in Astoria. Lead is primarily what we use. Also the Delta divers is another style of apparatus to get your gear down. That works really well down here. We might use those today, but primarily I'm using 20 ounces and 16 ounce leads. Now the way I got this rigged up here, I've got a slider. I'm going to snap on a lead. Then I got a couple dual locks down here. This is so if I want to run divers, I can open these up, put my divers on. I can put them together and I can run my lead. Then I'm going to run a fish flash, all sorts of various colors, sizes we'll run. And then I can run either a bait leader for anchovies or herring, or a spinner. So down here in Astoria, this is the #1 place for the largest run of salmon to come into the Northwest. This is the Columbia River. We're only 10-12 miles from the ocean. Buoy 10 is where everybody likes to start on the line on the incoming tides. We're going to start up here by the bridge. We have a high tide just coming out of high tide this morning early. We're going to fish up on the Washington side. The Washington side has been really good here lately. The Oregon side down by Young's Bay, Sawdust Piles, and Hammonds has some pretty good bites. I've been liking going across, fishing the Washington side to get a little bit less wind over there. Down here we get a lot of north-northwest wind, and the hillside over on the Washington side kind of covers you from the wind a lot. So I like fishing over there. We're going to run across this morning, across above the bridge. There's a little ditch up there. We're going to get started above the bridge. We'll kind of talk about the fishing the shipwreck, the rest area, North Ditch, Blind Slough, and what these fish are doing right now at this part of the tide. We're running 6 rods out here. I run 2 baits out the front normally, always with flashers. Middle rods, I tend to mix it between bait and spinner, kind of depending on what the water temp is. Of course, the warmer the water, I like to run spinners more often. And then always run baits on the back. So we're gonna fish today with mostly anchovies, fresh anchovies, and then also some fresh herring. Our fresh herring are pretty small this year, so we tend to use them as a whole herring. We don't plug cut them down here. But our anchovies are really nice, and I use them as whole as well, but they've been working really well for us. So I got some bait from yesterday from our tuna fishing, and we're going to use all this fresh bait here. Out here using a full anchovy or a small fresh herring, I tend to use two 2/0 Gamakatsu hooks. Okay, these are fixed tied. I use 25-pound fluoro. As of 2013, we use barbless hooks out here. Take my anchovy. You want to use a fresh one. The fresher the better, the less blood the best. Take my back hook. I'm going to go like this through the side. Take my front hook. Go right through the bottom of the jaw, right through the top of the head. Puts a curl on them just like this. And that thing's going to spin just like this in the water. Just like a plug cut herring would. Works really well. So today we're using Lama Glass 10-foot rods. We're using a line counter reel. These are the Akumas. Got a nice line counter and a big power handle. Easy to bring your Delta divers, Dipsy divers, or your big leads back to the boat easily. When we put these in the water, I always like to tell people to grab the right hand with the rod, grab the lead leader, left hand grab up the bait, and put it all in the water, bait first, and then let go of the lead. It'll always be untangled if you do it that way. Reel all the way up to your rod tip. Look at your line counter. Zero it to 000 by pushing the button down. Okay, so you know where you're going to start every single time you put it in the water. Thumb on the spool, lever back. Now I'll say, okay, let's do 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet, however many feet we're going to go today. Let it out nice and slow until you get to your number. You always want to go slow with a flasher. If you go down too quickly, the flasher will get tangled up your main line. You have a big ball of stuff. You ever reeled in and you've seen a big ball of tangle? You go, how did that happen? That's because you're letting down too quickly. So let it down nice and slow. Get to your number, flip the lever forward. Okay. Now, there's an array of different rod holders to use. We're using the Folby rod holders on this boat. The Folbies work like this. You grab them in the center of the rod holder, you lift it straight up. You gotta open it. Lift it straight up. There's a cradle and there's cut up for the rod and reel. Put it in here and it slides right back down. These work great because they go lift up, straight down, lift up, straight down. These things are great. When the fish bites it, puts it in a bind. The thing can't come out of the rod holder until you take it out of its bind. When you take it out, it comes right out. Here's what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna do the bow rods, 20 feet, 25 in the middle, and we're gonna do 30 in the back here. Right here at the top end of this ditch, it's only about 18 to 20 feet deep. Then once we get in a little deeper water, we'll add some more length to our gear.
There's one fishing rod company that produces more species-specific rods than any other in the world, with the highest quality standards for over 60 years, allowing you to fish with confidence. Right now at AnglerWestTV.com, get your sling blades, wiggle hoochies, and humdingers from Shasta Tackle. Also, the hot new Max Lure Sonic Bait Fish, and a huge selection of Procure products. Also, the very useful snip and grip pliers, and don't forget about the Angler West 2-for-1 Honer Sharpener Special.
Welcome back to the Columbia River. I'm Justin Wolff. We've started out on the Washington side of the river, a few miles above the Astoria Bridge. And apparently, that was a good choice.
Double over here. Okay, he's underneath the line here. Still there? Come on. That's how it happens here in Astoria. Our front bow rod, first of all, got a bite, went underneath the boat. Our another bow rod had a bite going off the other direction. We had a spinner go down, and we missed all three of them. Sometimes that happens. So we're gonna rebait and get back in the water. So right now we're fishing up here in the middle ditch, or blind slough if you want to call it that. It's right up here at the top end above the bridge on the Washington side. We're below Rice Island here a little ways. We're just after high slack tide, so all the fish got pushed up here, pushed up into this deeper water. And then once the tide starts running out like we got going now, these fish are going to suck down to the bottom. They're going to find their way up into the actual channel of the Columbia. So now we're going to fish all the way down past the bridge. We'll fish down to the well-known areas known as the Red Roof, the Church Hole. We'll fish down to maybe in front of Chinook here at low slack tide, seeing where the fish are at, and we'll make a move here on incoming. We'll move back in with the tide and the fish. Guys, we'll keep these other rods in so we can try and hook another fish or two. It is a coho. All right. Bonus fish. Let's see if this is hatchery. Not only do we fish with confidence and bonk with confidence, Lamo Bass products, we also net with confidence. Hey, look at that. It's a hatchery. Hatchery coho. It's a bonus fish. Good job, Jason. Thanks. So this is a coho. We can tell by the white jaw line here and here. Okay. You can also tell because there's not a lot of spots on it. And it looks kind of green in the water when it was fighting it. And I could tell just by the water what it was. Right down here, of course, they clip the fin. You can see the nub left over from the hatchery. They're about as big as my thumb right there when they're wild fish. This is a quality, great quality eating fish right here. You know, about a nice 6-pounder, 6-7 pounder quality eats right here.
You can keep 2 coho a day. Hatchery, they have to be fin clipped for silvers. Or you can keep 1 Chinook and 1 coho.
And the Chinook can be either or.
Yeah.
It can be a hatchery or a native fish, does not matter. But the cohos have to be hatchery. The number one thing I always try to tell people and really stress is, guys, you got to bleed your fish. And to bleed the fish correctly, I try to take my knife, I go down in the mouth, you look in here, I cut underneath the jaw, both sides of that gill rake, and you can see the blood just gushing out. This will really, really preserve your meat, take all the blood out of it, and make it that much better eating for you. Especially if you spend the time and the money to get out here on your boat and come out and do this, take care of your fish. And then afterwards, after it's all bled out, we'll put it on ice. That'll really, really take care of your meat. Out here when using bait and spinners, we have 2 types of takedowns normally. When you're using bait, of course, we have a takedown where they're going to chew on it for a little bit. We don't want to grab the rod right away. That's probably the number one problem I see a lot of times people do is they get a bite on a bait, they're so excited they want to go grab it. They pull out the rod holder and they lift up on it and they pull the bait out of the fish's mouth before they actually has it inhaled. Okay. On a spinner, that's okay to do. Of course, using either a big single sidewash or a treble hook. When they bite that, they bite down on the treble hook or the big sidewash they're already hooked. When we use these smaller bait hooks, you want to make sure they bite the bait a little bit longer so they get it hooked in the corner of their mouth. So our bite's going to look like this. A bait bite's going to go bite, 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 bite. Don't grab it yet. Okay, now you see that there's a constant bend in the rod. That's when you know the fish is hooked. Okay, he's actually turning the other direction. He's pulling on that rod the entire time. That fish has it hooked inside of his mouth or somewhere in his face, and you know he's hooked. Then you can pick it up. Now a spinner bite's going to be pretty much just a tap and pull down. Okay, then you can go and pick it up. You can set the hook and fish on. Let's walk on back here. We can kind of control that fish a little bit better here back towards the back of the boat. Okay, he's coming over the top. Let's go and reel all of our rods in, guys. This is a good fish. Okay. Best thing to do is get that flash out of the water. Lift it up, get that flash out of the water. Quality fish here. Jason, you get that? Jason, over here. It's coming. Perfect. All right. Good job. All right, guys. Right on, Aaron. Beautiful. Beautiful.
For decades, Oregon Tackle has meant more fish in the boat with innovative products like the Oregon Tackle Bottom Bouncer, salmon spinners, and all the right sizes, shapes, and colors, those shad darts that everyone uses, and nobody pours lead like Oregon Tackle, including those high-quality, powder-coated downrigger weights. You probably already use Oregon Tackle pencil lead or slinky makers, and you have to try the Steely Bugs and the new Oregon Tackle swim baits for tuna, bass, and walleye.
Everything's manufactured right here in Oregon, right here in the Northwest, to fish in the Northwest.
Whether you're chasing trophy trout or looking for limits of planter rainbows or kokanee, the Oregon Tackle Scent Chamber is a simple way to increase your odds and put more fish in the boat. And don't be afraid to dab a little long-lasting Procure Super Gel on your lure as well.
Shad. Combination, 2 passes, 2 fish.
Designed to be filled with Procure oils available at AnglerWestTV.com, the Oregon Tackle Scent Chamber distributes a trail of fish-attracting scent right to your lure.
Couldn't even get it in the water. That was a good choice.
Yeah.
It's early fall Chinook season near the mouth of the Columbia River. and there's already good numbers of fish in the system. And our first Chinook of the day is a prime example for why this fishery is so popular.
Now there is a buoy 10 chromer. Beautiful. That is what we came down here to get. That is a beautiful upriver fish. That fish is going to go above Bonneville.
There it is.
Oh man,
Dandy.
So that fish came on a 10.5 foot rod, pretty much a medium action rod, which is great for down here in Astoria. The longer rods really help out with the bites. The long rod allows that fish to chew on that bait without really feeling the resistance. A lot better than you would use it like an 8 foot rod or 7.5 foot rod. We've been using more 9, 10, 10.5 foot rods, and I primarily only run 10.5 foots. A lot of that also is to keep your gear away from the boat. A lot of times, you know, you got 4 or 5 rods out there, you want to keep your gear away from the boat as much as possible.
Go over and around.
Things not to do. Get tangled up another rod, right?
Doesn't want to come up. That's good fish, O'Brien. Yeah. You're off, you know. No, you're not.
Fish is right there, Jay.
Sorry, I'll get it. We're just gonna net it. Good job. Nice job.
Right there.
Woo! That's what we're talking about. There's Astoria for you. Another one. Anchovies work down here. Beautiful fish. These fish, now that I've bled them, we're gonna put them in a fish bag full of ice. You want to help keep your fish cold. Helps take care of your meat better. So when you go to fillet it out or steak it up later, you have better quality product for yourself. So we just went about 3.5 miles on our first drift. We caught a few fish there, caught 3, and had some other opportunities, let one go. We kind of moved around back and forth, but we made it to the bottom of the drift I want to fish now. I'm gonna run back up. As the tide moves out, these fish are starting to keep creeping up river. And so I want to go back to the top again, get in front of that wad of fish that were out there, and come back through them again, and hopefully hook up again.
There it goes.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing. You know, some days the bow rods get all the bites, other days the back rods get all the bites. It just kind of depends on how aggressive these fish are, I've noticed.
These 1066s make fish feel bigger, but you still have tons of power for them.
Josh, thank you for designing that rod to make my clients feel like they're landing in the monster.
Every one of them feels big.
Wait till I use that for tuna.
Ready?
Nice fish. That'll work. Beauty. Take it. Good job, Josh. Very good. Football. They're really fantastic fish. I like seeing the color here in the scales. See a little bit of blue in the purple. This fish right here has a left ventricle clip. Okay, see that where it's clipped right here? It's not the same size as the right. This fish is what we call a select area bright. This fish is going to either Young's Bay, Deep River, or John Day Slough. These are for the net pins, from the net pins for the gill netters. And we're able to go ahead and cut them off here a little bit.
Welcome back to the Columbia River. I'm Justin Wolff. Today anchovies are working and bananas are good luck. Brian Womack from Vancouver, Washington has just hooked up below the Astoria Bridge, an area that's holding good numbers of fresh Chinook. It's fresh out of the ocean.
Sucker.
Yeah, right? Squawfish?
It's a carp.
The tiger muskie?
That's good, a little stronger.
Five-foot handle. 5-foot handle. Oh, God.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh my God! There it goes. The hook was caught in the net.
Alarm is fired.
It wasn't still. It broke it.
I like.
It happens.
Look at that. Close call.
Fish.
That's a nice fish. Pretty. Well, here in Astoria, normally people tend to fish down here about the 15th of August to about the 15th of September, and then we start moving upriver, chasing towards the dam, fishing the Lewis River, the Cowlitz. If you guys have done the wobbler fishing out there, fishing below the I-5 bridge along Davis Bar and from the Willamette, and then moving up towards Bonneville Dam, fishing up there. And this season's good all the way until actually October, chasing coho down here. It's a phenomenal coho fishery. So if you guys don't want to drive all the way up to Bonneville, if you live down closer towards the beach down here, come down here and you know, have these big number days. No problem coming out here, 15, 20, 30 fish a day out here all of September for coho. And of course you get a lot of those Chinooks. You got to release them, but still they're fun. Get them. Oh yeah! Oh, finally a right-hander. And we got the clicker.
Oh, yeah.
We got a thumber. Can you control your fish? That'll work. All right, well, there's our kings. So after today's catch, we got them on ice, and we got some nice quality salmon here. We're gonna fillet them, and some of the better ways to fillet them is taking a nice soft knife, so you can come right down behind the collar here of the Chinook. I always like to trace out my fillet first. I go right along the backbone here, just like this. I take my knife and I go right up to the backbone where I can feel that backbone, slice it down. I come back here, right down to that backbone, I just feel it, lift up that meat, pierce right through the back of the tail here. I like a finger hold, so I put a little hole right here. So I grab onto this, leave the rib cage on. I take this knife and I let this thing slide right against this rib cage here. Slices right off the meat, so you get a fully boneless piece, except for this row of bone. Just like this. No bones. Get your belly meat. The only row of bones you have is right here, and those you can pull out with pliers, or you can just kind of cut them out, whatever you like to do the best. That right there is fabulous fillet.
Hey, thanks for watching today's episode of Angler West TV. You know, it's only with the sponsor support that the show is made possible, so please thank them when you can. Now get out there and do some great fishing.